Should we be nervous about the changes that are going down in just a couple weeks because of the NAR lawsuit? Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, it's Rosemary Lewis, your real estate bestie, and today again, we are going to talk about this NAR lawsuit and should you be nervous about the conversations that you are going to start having to have with your buyers. But before we get into it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And for real, for this one, I am sharing with you something that we have coming up that you definitely want to be a part of. So make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss out on anything we do around here with Real Estate Bestie. Let's get into our question for today. Hey bestie. Okay, so today's question is one that I have seen in my inbox several times, and there is more chatter in every Facebook group about it. So let's talk about it. Are you nervous about the changes that are going to come up with the NAR ruling? And more importantly, how comfortable are you having this compensation conversation with your potential buyers? Let's just backtrack a little bit. In case you have been living under a rock, or maybe you are brand new to the industry and you don't know what changes have happened. Back in earlier this year, at the beginning of the year, there was a ruling with the National Association of Realtors, the whole lawsuit, go ahead and Google it. But pretty much what has happened is that real estate agents are no longer able to advertise compensation in the MLS for buyers agents, okay? There's a whole big old thing. Go read about it. I'm not gonna give you all of the ins and outs of the lawsuit here. But with the changes, which by the way, we're still figuring out exactly how it's going to be rolled out as of the recording of this podcast. But with the changes, one thing that we know is going to be pretty much mandatory is that anyone who is representing a buyer, it is going to be non-negotiable for you to have a buyer representation agreement signed where the compensation is clearly defined. Now, in most markets, what we have been used to is that there have been sellers offering compensation. So some markets, there are agents that have never ever had to have this conversation with their buyers. And it feels very uncomfortable. Like, how are we gonna go about this? Now, I just wanna give a little bit of insight to say I am in the state of Texas, and for every brokerage that I've been with, compensation and the buyer representation agreement, I honestly haven't ever done a contract where I did not have a representation agreement. So I just give you that information, not to say, ooh, I know it and you don't, but to just let you know, even if this is brand new for you, this is a practice that a lot of people in a lot of different states have been doing for years. So it is possible, okay? I don't want you to believe that if you have a consultation, you know, when you start asking your buyers to sign a representation agreement, they are just going to ghost, because the reality is that there are buyers all over the country that this is just the way that they have done business because this is the way the state is. But let's talk about it, because in a couple of weeks, it is very likely that for a lot of you, things are going to change. And this is going to be my biggest piece of advice, is I'm not nervous about it, because just like anything, we have to be used to having critical and sometimes tough conversations in real estate. And I'm not necessarily categorizing the conversation about compensation as tough, but it is a critical conversation, and it is a conversation that needs to be had when you first start working with somebody, when they hire you and engage them, okay? Hey besties, I'm gonna interrupt this video because if you are watching my channel, here's what I know about you. You are committed to growing and scaling your real estate business, and I'm here to help you do just that. When I was an elementary school teacher and transitioned over to real estate, I had one big goal, and that was to finally hit 6 figures. Now, at the time, it felt lofty and I didn't know how it was going to happen, but I'm here to tell you that with the right habits and determination, not only can you hit 6 figures, but baby, you can make multiple 6 figures every single year. I have a brand new free ebook to show you the exact habits that I apply in my business and my life every single day. So head on over to rosemarylewis.com/6, SIX, so that you can learn the habits that will get you to 6 figures and beyond in your real estate business. Now, back to the video. Now, I've said it before, and guess what? We actually are preparing a workshop for you where it is absolutely imperative that you have a solid buyer's consultation presentation, okay? I know that a lot of times even when I first got into real estate, everyone focuses so much on the listing presentation. And you know why? Because the sellers, we always knew the sellers were paying, right? So we can't just be sliding in anything with the sellers. You have to have a strict conversation with them, explain to them exactly how you are going to market their property, because it's a job interview. Where we have been mistaken is that sometimes we are so casual when we work with buyers, we have not gone about it in the same way to actually interview for the position, to let them know how we are going to help them and support them. And, okay, how will the real estate agent be paid if they do decide to hire you? So I'm not nervous because you know what? I've been doing this consultation, okay? And I've been training the agents in my coaching program on how to have this consultation. And I've been training the agents on my team on how to have this consultation. If you haven't received this type of training, it is not the end of the world, but this is what you want to do. First of all, really pull out what does that agency agreement look like. Have a conversation with your broker. I imagine that a lot of brokers right now are training you on how to have these conversations on exactly what the agreement is and how to explain every part of this agreement to your buyers. And if for whatever reason your brokerage hasn't rolled anything out, listen, I need you to go ahead and get on my email list, because in a couple of weeks, we are actually going to have a live training where I am going to demonstrate exactly how to have the buyer's consultation. And guess what? You're even going to have an opportunity to get the slides, so it will be ready to go for you. So head on over to rosemarylewis.com/list. And you will be one of the first to know when we roll that out. But in the meantime, I don't want you to feel overwhelmed or scared, but just get ready to have that conversation. So listen, get on the phone with a real estate bestie. Just start role playing. If a buyer says to you, okay, how much does it cost? How much is it going to cost for you to work with me? You explain it the exact same way as you would if you talking to them about down payment and closing costs, right? I wouldn't show someone who does not have the down payment and closing costs in order to purchase a home. And the same thing, we want to make sure that they have the funds available to cover the cost of purchasing a house. And part of those funds is hiring a real estate agent. Now, here's the difference though. Now it is more important than ever for you to be able to know, understand, and articulate your value proposition to anyone that you are servicing. So pretty much, what problem are you solving, right? Why are you a vital force, a vital person that they need to help them throughout this process? And if you are unsure about that, be sure to hop on our email list so that you can be a part of this training that we have, because I'm going to share with you the exact language that I use in my consultations. And I have yet to have a buyer who was a good fit not be willing and able to not only agree to the terms, but also understand that, they may have to cover my compensation. So I don't want you to be worried about it, but it is time for us to be absolutely prepared for the changes that are coming up. And you know what? We're not waiting until August when the changes are absolutely mandatory. We are going to get ready for them right now.